To finish our Jen Aranyi inspired mountain terrain landscapes, you will need a Sharpie or a pen. You need to make sure all of your pencil lines have been traced. Small detail, I would recommend tracing with a pen, and larger detail or details that are in the foreground, which are closer to us, you can trace with a black Sharpie. When you're done tracing those things, then you need to decide whether you want to do a cool or a warm color sky. I like to use a white crayon over the top part of my mountains just to make sure that the paint doesn't run on them. Next, I'm going to wake up some of my colors using some water. So gently swirling your brush in the water and then swirling it around to activate or wake up some of your paints. And then applying that painted brush onto the background or the sky of your landscape. The only area that is going to get this paint is the sky. And you can determine whether or not you want it to be a cool color or a warm color. So we're not mixing the warm and cool colors together. You're going to pick one palette, either the cool color palette or the warm color palette. You can mix the colors on your background, but please do not mix them on the paint tray itself. When you're done with your painted background sky, then you're going to find several strips of paper. You're going to cut those pieces of paper into tiny triangles or squares or other shapes. We are going to apply those shapes all along the background using a glue stick. I like to do this by applying a little section of glue to the background of my paper and then carefully taking my finger and pressing down some of those little tile pieces. You can decide whether or not you want it to be all brown or all black, or you can do what I'm doing. I'm doing a mixture of brown and black pieces. I'm really trying to make sure that I'm using some smaller pieces and that my pieces all fit inside of each other and they're not touching. So you want it to look like the tile that you might see on the walls or on the floor. And if you look at tiles like that, you'll notice that they have these little grout lines or sections between them. You will continue this process until you have filled up the remaining white area around your artwork. You may need to cut more pieces and you may need to glue each certain sections at a time. I like to rub a lot of glue on there at once just to make sure that it's sticky enough to hold down all of the individual pieces because I don't want any pieces coming up later. Once you have all of your little pieces glued around the outside of your artwork, you're going to take any remaining scraps and put them back in the clear containers. And your artwork, along with your messy mat, is going to go on the drying rack.
Tasting no tears, no fighting.